Alright, so I've heard these are a pain in the ass, valve adjustment wise. I've never actually done one. It was weird because I've pretty much done it all. Obviously the cover is going to have to come off, the intercooler is going to have to come off. I mean, a ton of shit that's going to have to come off. The one thing I'm looking at though, maybe not. The dipstick tube kind of is on top of the valve cover, it looks like. Maybe it's attached to it and I don't have to disassemble half the motor to unbolt the bottom of the dipstick tube. I don't know. I guess let's get to getting on her, shall we? Got you guys real time for the most of this, I guess. Those four are going to get that off. That's actually not a terribly small intercooler. Too bad these engines only make like $110 horsepower on a good day, you know. Just gonna undo both of those because I don't know which end's gonna give. Crispy sensor. It looks like there's a couple of brackets in the back that you're definitely not getting a power tool on. That's nice. That's fine. Get out of here. Get out of here. It's cold out here. I got my garage door open and I thought the cat was asleep. But she is not asleep. She wants to be out in the garage. Are you fucking kidding me? No. Nope. Go on, get it. And she's already got a black spot on her white back because she snuck out here once. This sucks. Well, looks like she's just going to continue to be a pain in the ass, so I might have to shut the door and freeze. It's a good table there, not really. Thought the tool would scare her, but apparently that just intrigued her even more. I'd like to not drop one of these back here. There's one out. It's a 10 holding the bracket on the back side of the intercooler, which you guys can't see. Bracket over here too with the intake hose. Oh, of course there's another bracket on this side that looks super fun to get. Man, I might gain 40 horsepower just cleaning all the dead bugs and shit off of that. I'm gonna shut you guys down while I try to find all my 10 millimeters. Alright, hopefully this video doesn't basically me yelling at my cat the entire time. Alright, so far I've gotten 4 long 10s out that actually hold this thing down. It's still very tight, so I'm guessing that there's a couple more somewhere hiding, holding it down. I see. I see. That's gonna suck. Looks like there's a hose in the back with a couple of hose clamps that I'm not really sure how I'm going to get to those hose clamps. I'm going to pause y'all again. So basically, we're at the mercy of the home tools. So if you work professionally in a shop and you also work out of your garage at home, you know what I'm talking about. You have your work tools that are all super nice, and then you have your home tools that are, well, you got them when you're 16. Anyway, that 90-foot long extension is what I'm going to try to use back here. I actually don't know if that's even doing anything. Oh, that's maybe doing something. That's interesting. I don't know if that did anything. Normally when you loosen a clamp up, it slides around and you know you got it loose, but this one just stayed. Yeah, but I can't even get my dick beater in there to see if it's loose. That's been great. Grand, wonderful. Yeah, boy. Why couldn't they have turned the clamps around and put them this way? This way is much easier. Yeah. Alright, after I went and found 15,000 other tools. So you've got a that's what that is over there. You got a couple tins on the top, or you got a couple tins on the side. I tried to get at the tins on the side so I could just take the whole damn thing out and not have to disconnect these two hoses, just because Oldman hoses, you know what I mean, they don't really go together too well. But anyway, all my good sockets are at work, so I ended up having to just unbolt the two tins on the top of that and then take the hoses off the side. And I think I've got all the tins for the brackets out of this. Now I'm fighting. There's a rock hard boot here with two rusty clamps, and on the back side that you can't see or get to, there's another rock hard hose and two rusty clamps. So what I think I'm going to dangerously do is start prying on things. I mean, I don't want to do it that way. But I mean, pretty much this is what we're... Alright. Well, I got the front one to release. It's still a lot tighter than I would hope, which tells me that I either missed a... Alright, well that's this thing here that I thought that I won the fight, I still lost. So I'm gonna have to do some digging, look around and figure out what else is holding that on there. Alright, so basically looked like it was mostly just this hose there holding me up. It's still in the way, but I think I can come over here and start dangerously pulling on this and seeing if it'll disconnect from that back hose. And I mean, she's really on it. Well, that just came right off. A little unsuspected. A little bit of oil in there. Nothing too crazy. Throttle body's a little bit gunky, but she'll be alright. Can't really tell what that's doing back there. Oh, nothing. So what are these wonderful noises then? Well, I just don't know. You know what I'm saying? I might have had to undo that bottom clamp. Maybe that's the turkey dinner. Do the bottom clamp, not the top one. I don't really know. Let me do some digging. Show you guys what I'm dealing with. All right, shop lion. No. Get in the house. Would you quit exploring? I can't even touch you. Get in the house. See, you already got a dark spot on you. Dirty cat, meow. Get in the house. Yeah. Meow, 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 meow. No, get in the house. No, meow. Get in the house. No, meow. Uh-huh. Jeez. Can't get anything done out here. Just destructive talk. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Shop line looking at us. Alright. So the trick is you undo the lower clamp on that that hose in the back, and it'll slide off of the top one. Yeah, don't even mess with the lower clamp. What a waste of time. As soon as I loosened that, it just fell right off the top one. Come on, shop line. Only got enough patience for myself, not you two. Man, usually the shop line's sleeping at this time. I figured that I could have kept the door open and been warm, and you know, she'd have been sleeping. Yeah, this thing is just full of bugs and shit. I'll spin this around and show you that bracket there. It's got the 2 tins that I kind of left, and then took the other tins out instead. Man, where you at? That fella there, he looks like a mean bastard. Stop line. No. Hey, no. No. Go. Hey, not that way. No. All right. Yeah. All right, looks like I get the freeze. I don't want her getting into something and getting hurt. Here, get my dipstick out of here before I break it off. What do we have? What do we have? This cover just pop off? Yeah, maybe. I mean, I don't see anything holding it on, but oh, that didn't sound good. Oh, I think it's just got a metric ton of wires holding it in. So yeah, undo your throttle body, and then that'll just pull out. Just got some rubber, guys, and well, that was that snap I heard. You didn't need that anyway. Weight reduction. Now, oh, that is, wow, that's a lot of rust on those coolant lines. That is a lot of rust. I guess I can disconnect you. I'm just looking at that line right there. It's a little more than surface rust, and then I followed it down right there. Jeez. I'm gonna have to clean that up. Do something. That's a lot. Man, this thing has got a lot of rust. I mean, we are in the north. I did get underneath this thing. There's no rust under it. There's no body rust. It's just all the bolts and everything else just did not fare well. So, yep. But anyway, that's kind of what it looks like after you get your intercooler off. And I'll be honest, like, I was playing around and filming triples the time of anything you're doing, but had I not been filming, it would have probably taken me maybe 15 minutes to get that off. like I said, I've never even done this before. I didn't know that, you know, it had a 10 there, a 10 there. Hell, I missed this 10, you know what I'm saying? Like, then you got this thing. I didn't know, I just figured it out as I went. It still only took me 15 minutes. So, yeah, get to cracking on the rest of this. I was just kind of looking around. Look at that 10 mil right there. I'm judging by how rusty these 10s are that, you know, I was questioning whether or not it had the valves adjusted or not. It's got 140,000 miles on it. I was suspecting probably not, but looking at that 10, you have to take this off to get to the spark plugs. So I think she's running on the factory spark plugs as well. So that's kind of unfortunate, but it's a good thing that we're in here now, because, you know, I want it to be nice when I drive it, and I want it to be nice for whoever buys it from me. So let's get it done. All right, got you a little reposition here. Start hammering away at some of this stuff. Oh yeah, that hose is part of the aluminum. Aluminum. Yeah, that hose was crispy and brittle. I have like no good way to prop you guys up. My little stand is just sucking. I need to figure that out. Man, that sucks. Wonder how much new lines run. That's just a vacuum line there. Ain't worried about that one. It's gonna be one of those good side of the highway kind of days, and you're like, I know it's leaking coolant, but I can't see where it's coming from because it's buried under 9 feet of intercooler. Let's just go right at that rusty bolt. Nope, that's now a 9 mil. Jeez. All right, well, let me put you on pause while I hammer a 9 mil onto that. All right, so believe it or not, I just kind of cleaned the rust around that, and then I hammered a 10 onto it. We got her out. Man, that's rough. I have never seen valve cover bolts like this before. I mean, there's basically nothing left of the head on that thing. Yeah. Well, now the shop lion is jumping at the door, scratching at the door, and meowing. Pretty sad, but she can't be out here, you know. Another 4 10s. Coil packs. God dang, you would think that cat was getting skinned right now. She's meowing so much. Spoiled thing. No oil on that cylinder, eh? Man, all the bolts bolts are rusty, all the clips are crusty. Get out of there. That one's dry. Start using a pry bar to get these out. She's dry. It's all good news. Alright. Yeah, I tell you, for as clean as this thing is underneath, I am shocked at how rusty it is up here. Oh, that's nice. Usually, this thing fucks all the way off and it's not in your way. But I guess on these, there's a lot more to it. So it looks like I'm gonna have to go fishing down this hole and unplug every single wire so I can lay that over to get this valve cover off. That sucks. Where is my tin gone? There's my tin. Well, I was told by a couple Acura techs that this sucked. I guess they weren't lying. Definitely not the worst thing I've done so far. Of course I say that, and I see that there's like 6 wires that run down there and they go all the way to the bottom of the engine. And the other side is, this side is definitely your worst option to try to free up. Yeah, it looks like at the very minimum I'm gonna have to unbolt these coolant lines, which I really don't want to do because them are really rough. And I just don't want to jiggle them around, you know what I'm saying? But looks like that's what I'm going to have to do. Can I get my jiggler twister 10,000 in here? Oh yeah! Did it give us anything there? No, that gave us nothing. She's still tighter than hell in there. That's unfortunato. This side's got a bracket bolted down somewhere. Oh, it do. Down here. What happens if I take this 10 out? Is it just misery, or is it gonna help? What'd that do for us? Oh, nothing. Well, that 10's not going back in. Darn. It also looks like it's going to be easier just to undo the power steering hose too, because that takes a sharp line right over the top. That sucks too, because this O-ring's leaking. I really don't want to mess with it because it's not leaking that bad, but now I'm going to have to get it out and clean her out. Well, I just kind of thought of something here. So we're getting our butts kicked now. So I started unplugging this harness. I started unplugging stuff over here, and there's 2 plugs on the top. There's one for your VTC solenoid on the side, and then there's another wire that goes down pretty far, probably maybe to like the oil pressure sensor or something like that. And I look down there, and that bad boy branches off 3 more times. So I'm like, all right, just stop. So then I come over here to the worst side, and I'm like, all right, well, what's over here? And it's kind of the same deal. It's just you've got to remove this basically to get to anything over here. And that runs into the main harness, so you're not going to be able to flip this up that way. So then I was like, well, I mean, what's our problem here? It's basically because this is rigid and it won't allow us to get the valve cover off. So then I was like, well, why don't we just, you know what I'm saying? Just get rid of the rigidity, the rigidness. So I just popped all those. I'm going to pull this harness out of there and see if maybe that is the secret. All right, that's the ticket. So under your clips, that thing just pulls off. Wires just fucked all the way off. That's how you do it. Done. All right, well, so then basically you got all your valve cover ends. Just smash them off real quick. It's a little rusty. A lot rusty. Jesus. So on your regular K series, you're gonna have 2 10s that run through the side over here. This one don't have those, which I'm not complaining about. So I'm not a big fan of those 2 10s. They usually don't go back on. It's taking me way too long. I've got like 400 million things to do today. So I like to get in here before I pop the valve cover. I'll go around and pop all of these off first so I don't lose one down the back of the motor. On the top of the cradle, between the cradle and the rack. You'll never get it back. Get out of there. And the back two are usually more fun. That one is going to be real fun. That one might just be left alone. Come on. I got the metal part off. I think the rubber part we're just going to send. Just going to send it with the valve cover. Gosh, he's been on a while. Come on now. Looks like she's got another bolter 12 holding her on, but I'm pretty sure it's just the fact that she ain't never been off. We're gonna have to get rough about it, I guess. Two pry bar action on the corner. That never broke anything. Well, I mean, she is stuck. Really can't get over here either. nowhere to go over here to pry on this thing. Oh, that didn't sound good. That did not sound good. That sounded like a cracked valve cover. Hopefully not, because I'll bet these aren't easy to get a hold of. I bet they're not the same as your regular. Maybe that's what was holding me up, so I couldn't get that off. Squirrel. But yeah, these aren't the same as your regular K24 valve cover that you can get all day, every day. These are a bit different. Get out of here. I already told you. I already told you once. You son of a gun. Alright, I'm going to try to wiggle it around this power steering. And ultimately I'm going to have to unbolt it. Well, let me just spend more time getting it around this power steering line than it would have taken to unbolt it. Yep, just have to unbolt it anyway.
Yeah.
Well, the main reason I didn't want to unbolt it is because it's going to make a huge mess. I'm in my home garage, you know what I'm saying? I don't want to make any messes. Where you guys at? Yeah, you can see me kind of over there. So what I did is I pulled this loose and dropped it down, because you want that as low as possible. The lower that is, the less mess. You're still in for a huge mess. This sucks. Oh yeah, this sucks. This sucks. Well, I was trying to find a couple of things that I could queef this hole up with, but I don't think what I got's gonna work. I think I'm just gonna make a huge mess. Is that gonna work? Oh no, that ain't gonna work. This definitely ain't gonna work. I didn't think that out too well. I have nowhere to put this. Normally I trap it with a wiper blade, but this is my car. I don't want to do that. Well, maybe this isn't going to leak that bad. Alright, let's scan our peepers under here and see how bad the people were at their oil changes. This is always kind of a make it or break it moment for me for these K series. Please be clean under here. Alright. Honestly, that's pretty good. Let's look underneath this valve cover. Oh, it's just got trash all over it. I don't want to pour on my floor. And I need an extra hand. I got to put you down. Good. All right. Okay, inside the valve cover is pretty nasty. I've seen much worse, but that's pretty nasty. But this, now this, that is not that bad. It's a pretty good score. To check all my cam lobes, I'm sure they're fine though. All right. Well, I hate that this just happened, but I guess, in a pretty mad way. I'm glad that it happened now. See how wet that is? Squeeze this coolant hose. Yep. I don't really know how that happened, but it did. It's pretty unfortunate, actually. So it looks like I'm going to have to run a hose then and bypass that. It's really unfortunate. I was looking back here too, and that pipe is pretty rusty. All that stuff's rusty. I'm gonna take some converter. God, how is this so rusty, but it's so clean underneath? But I'm gonna take a rust converter on the rest of that rusty crap. Oh, I guess I can plug my connectors in while I've got the valve cover off. That makes that a lot easier. Oh my goodness, there's another crusty, rusty pipe back in there. God, that sucks. Well, at least it only connects, looks like right there, so I'm only gonna need 2 foot of hose. That just sucks that I have to do that. I don't like doing that kind of crap. Maybe I'll do that temporarily, and then I'll probably order a pipe, because that just sucks. That bothers me. Yep, it is what it is when you live in the Rust Belt, I guess. Alright, so I lost a bunch of footage. I've adjusted 1, 3, and 4. Missed those, but let me show you 2. I bypassed that leak down there. See, I got rid of that rusty thing. Loop the throttle body back into itself. That does not need coolant running through it. It's supposed to stop the throttle blades from sticking in like minus 900 degree weather. Ain't nobody got time for that. And then I just took the line that was running here. I cut that rusty pipe right here, and I just run it straight up into that. So it's just going to do a circle on that end, and then you don't even have to honestly put a hose here. I just did it so spiders don't get in there, and I don't know, I just did it. You know what I'm saying? It's done. Alright, so let me run this over to 2. That's 2 right there. Those actually sound okay. So if you can hear that, I don't know if you can pick that up or not, but yeah, let me do it again. That kind of a looseness, that's actually what you're supposed to hear. So that one's actually probably been the closest one so far. A lot of these have been so tight that I've actually had to second guess myself on the specs of this, even though I knew what they were, but they were just that tight. I don't know if you can see it. So 008 is a good one for the intake, and 12 is a good one for the exhaust. I might put that in the description. We'll see. Get in here and see how tight these are. Yep, that one's too tight, and that one's too tight. I can't even begin to get them in there. Holy shit! Wow, that was tight. That one wasn't. Why was that one so tight? I know nobody's ever been in this. Zero chance anybody's ever been in this. I think that fell out while I was tightening. Plus a lot of these, because of this lovely intercooler bracket, which I guess I could remove it, they make these a real pain to get to. Alright, perfect. Intakes. That one's pretty close. That one's pretty close. I'm gonna have to go ahead and hit them anyway. Typically, what'll happen if you already didn't know, your intake valves typically will loosen up over time, and your exhaust valves will tighten over time, and you get two things from that. You get a noisy engine from the intake valves, and these don't mess around on the exhaust valves. They will burn, and you're gonna have to pull the head and replace the valve. Oops. I knew that was too tight. I don't know why I even tightened it down. That one's acting a little weird. But anyway, I've seen them burn as early as 140,000 miles, and I've seen them last as long as 200,000 miles without being adjusted before they burn. Actually, 196,000 to be exact. I've never seen one actually hit 200,000 without burning. So if you've got 200,000 on a K series, you got a pretty good chance that somebody got in there and did it already. Did they do it right? I don't know. I can't trust anybody. I got trust issues, especially with my valves. So 100%, I'll get in there and redo them anyway. All right, so all of those are good now. All right, I got the new gasket in. I got the tube seals banged in. Bring the overheader. Got the Honda bond there and the Honda bond there. You're gonna put Honda bond in these two corners over in there. Can't really see it. Trust me, it's there. Then we're gonna go ahead and slap that valve cover back on. All right, got the spark plugs out. Where you at? Show you one of these. They were definitely in there 140K. Nice and new. I will say though, these are not the same spark plugs as what you would put in a regular K24. They're different. That is the number. Make sure you're getting laser iridium. They're not cheap. All right. Got the plugs in, coils on, coils bolted down, valve cover on, valve cover bolted down. Hose put on the back, everything plugged in. I got this plastic loon garbage put back over the wire. Basically now it's just a game of bolting everything back together. Got this little fella here, and actually, before I get too far, just because I got problems, you know, because once you get everything back together, you don't have access to this, so you can't clean it. Not like you don't, you know, you don't see it. I know it's just bullshit, but you know what I'm saying? It makes me feel better. Alright, let's slam some of these rusty bolts back in here. Oh, it's so bad. I was like, wait a minute. What goes here? I know I'm not crazy. There it is. There it is. I knew there was a bracket that went there. Hiding. Two brackets, might as well. Actually, there's like 80 brackets, but might as well start bolting stuff back on. Come on, find your hole. See, I looked everywhere online for this coolant, throttle body coolant passover, crossover, whatever you want to call it. I couldn't find one anywhere. So short of finding one in a junkyard, which, okay. I think you're pretty limited. I don't think you're going to find that bad boy. So yeah, you're basically, your best bet's probably to do like what I did and just bypass the throttle body altogether. Might even gain a horsepower from it. You never know. Don't be a lazy ass. Put your power steering bracket back on. Doesn't go in the trash, it goes back on the car. So that way the next person's like, huh, I don't think anybody's ever been into this. Because if they're into this, they would have surely thrown that away. What other brackets did we forget? What bracket did we forget? Because I have an extra 10 here. It's a shiny 10 too. What did we forget? Well, that's, I think, going to be a big, I don't know. Oh, you dummy. Let me tighten that bracket out. Thought that felt weird. Alright. Well, I guess we'll keep slamming this thing together. Probably not going to find where that ever went. Oh, I know where that went. The bracket that rusted off that I threw in the trash. or more like that I cut off because it was rusty. So what I'm gonna do, take that rusty tin out, throw that in the trash, and put this nice one over here. For no reason at all, just because it makes me feel better. I think I showed that to you already. But yeah, that line rusts there, and then you got a leak, and you can't replace that line. So that's where that other tin went right there, which this is deleted. All right, I think, unfortunately. When I say unfortunately, I mean really unfortunately. It's time to go back on with this. But before I do that, I want to clean this thing. So I'm going to pause y'all. Alright, I got it cleaned out a little bit. Let's try the fun task of putting this back on. Already sucks. Mostly because of this. I don't really know if there's a good or a bad way to do this. I think it all just sucks. To tell you the truth. Well, that didn't sound good. That's not the way, clearly. Getting this onto the throttle body is kind of hard. Yeah, that is kind of tricky to get it on the throttle body. This sucks. Yeah, not even close. Just smashing the coupler. Can't even see what it's doing back there. No. Oh, I think I see what I did, dummy. Oh, that was stupid. I preemptively tightened my clamp. Well, I didn't tighten it. What I did is I just snugged it so that I wouldn't be chasing it later, but it turns out even if you do that, you can't get it on. Let's try that again. That may have done something. Well, still can't see back there, but it looks like it might have done something. So if we can get this in, might be in business. Oh, just about went to the ER with the pick through the wrist. All right. I guess that's pretty much it. Everything kind of just 20 minutes later, you know. It's easier to get off, I will say that. So then, yeah, it's just a bunch of tightening the clamps, bolting this thing back down, plugging everything back in, a couple hoses. I'll be back. Oh, I thought I won the battle with the shop line here, but apparently she just woke up and she's ready for round like 12 with screwing with me. Look at your back. You got dirty, see? Yeah, you got dirty. No. Uh-huh. Be a good shop lion. Yes. All right. Got the cover back on. I think I plugged everything back in. Got all my clamps back on. Now what I'm going to do, well, one thing I got to do is replace this battery, which I'm going to do that pretty soon. Get my table to sit anywhere. God. So, clean the throttle body. Jesus, would you just stop it? All right. Stop. So I cleaned the throttle body while I had that open. It was all gunked up. I'm gonna pull this out. It's not actually too terrible looking in there, but that's getting clean. You've seen me do this a billion times. Can you see that? That's what you want to use. Don't use carburetor cleaner, just use MAF. So you clean that, drop her back in, she's good to go. And actually I did, I've not even checked the engine air filter in this. Oh, that's another thing. I'm gonna replace it, and then I gotta replace the cabin filter. But on the first day of driving this, I had a code for the MAF. So my guess is this filter is disgusting because you don't usually have to replace MAFs. My guess is some debris or something. Something somewhere got up in there. You know what I'm saying? Alright. God, I hate that battery. Just terrible. Man, I can't wait to pressure wash this thing, clean all this crap off. Get you a set of these wrenches. Pretty cool. Really? Oh, I love when people use the wrong group size battery. Just love it. And aftermarket lead cables. Who does that? God, who does that? Surprised it's even tight, I'll be honest. tight, is it? Oh, just not at all. Yeah, get out of there. No, I guess I had my battery extracting 16 mil wrench at work. Oh. Jesus, that's heavy. All right, this should fit better. Definitely fits better. Oh, come on now. Would you just go back to OEM? So I got it backwards. Definitely had it backwards. And because it's an Acura, I bet the alarm's going to go off, so. Have my key ready. Put the key in the door to get ready to turn it to disarm it. So I can almost imagine this is going to get noisy. Huh. For once it did not. Okay, I'll take it. Unless this isn't making contact. No? Alright, whatever. See, what size do you think that terrible clamp is? Let's see, is it a 13? Oh, big shock. Anything that takes a 13 is trash. I'm just going to go on out and say that. If you had to use a 13 to work on your car, throw that car in the trash. Yeah, I said it. If it's not 8, 10, 12, 14, 17, 19, you got a 15 in there, you got a 16 and 18, throw that shit in the trash. Throw that whole damn car in the trash. $17 is about the only acceptable odd number. There's the battery. Brand new. Why is it wet though? Why does it smell like boiled eggs? What is that? Well, I don't know why that smells like rotten eggs, but hopefully it's not a brand new leaking battery. Alright. Well, already changed the transmission fluid, already changed power steering fluid, I've already changed the rear differential fluid. You don't need to watch me change the oil. It's pretty easy on these anyway. Drive belt's already done. That's pretty easy, self-explanatory kind of stuff. Still got to do brakes, still got to do brake fluid, Still have to do the paint correction. That's what I really wanted to do. I really didn't want to do all this crap today. I wanted to get it cleaned up and looking nice. Get rid of some of these scratches, but priorities and stuff. So, yeah. All right. Finally got her done. Headlights look way better. This one had like chemical burns in it that I had to use 500 grit to get out. That's rough. There's lots of crow's feet. Actually not too bad, just a little bit in the hood. But yeah, no, you can't really tell. It came out really nice. Yep, like I said, the only paint fade is that spoiler, and I'll probably be taking that off and having it painted. Because after the rest of this, how it turned out, this is way too nice to be having a shit spoiler. So that will conclude this video. I guess like, comment, subscribe.